Dzień dobry, witam w kolejnym odcinku programu Liderzy Branży IT Reseller TV. Dzisiaj naszym gościem jest John Miedema z Lenovo. Hello. John, I would like to introduce you a little bit to our audience. So let's start with the very first question. What do you do at Lenovo?
Okay, so I'm responsible for in Lenovo for the product management of all consumer products. So that is our great gaming devices, notebooks, desktops, but also our yoga devices, IdeaPad devices, Chromebooks, accessories, and then that is on top of my previous job, which is business development, which is I did for another 2.5 years before taking this job, which is on gaming, Chrome, and premium computing. So.
Okay, so you probably know more than most people about the industry, and I'd like to ask you about one very important thing, the gaming market today. How it is important really for Lenovo, and what part of the whole Lenovo's business the gaming industry really is today?
Okay, I think it's really important for us as Lenovo to kind of grow our perception as a brand and our value as a brand. So if you look at gaming, where we are active around 5 years with Legion, we developed the first Legion notebooks around 5 years ago. We're now looking at, I would say, roughly 20% of our total business in gaming. We are the worldwide #1 on gaming, counting notebooks and desktops in all regions. So I think it's a really important part of our daily life to focus on gaming, to develop a holistic gaming brand. So we're not necessarily a product company, a product selling company with notebooks. We are building the Legion brand to kind of exceed the expectations, work on notebooks, on desktops, accessories, building a big community, sponsoring esports teams like G2, that is in today's final, and having really great engagements on events like this. So really building that brand called Legion and making that more and more important.
But since the product itself is very important,
yes.
Do you think that in upcoming years the cloud gaming will be a threat a little bit to the product itself? Because with cloud gaming, you don't really need to have a very powerful hardware, right?
That's correct. Obviously, we had many discussions about cloud gaming. I would say I can almost bounce back the analogy that if you have a service like Netflix, which is kind of a cloud gaming on-demand video, didn't kill the film industry. So you're still going to the cinema. I think if you're looking at the gamer as a person, he or she, that person is interested in playing games regardless where he or she is. So you can talk about a homebound desktop scenario where you go in real, let's say, high-end games, or if you're on the bus commuting or train commuting, you want a game with a lighter device. And we try to catch every element of that gamer's life. So yes, we will have solutions in cloud gaming, like a Chromebook, a gaming Chromebook that we're bringing to market, but we will also focus obviously on the real gaming devices with a high-end dedicated graphics like the RTX 4090 to cater to the needs of people that are having gaming as their main hobby. They are willing to invest in a high-end gaming device or having the budget to invest and play on a high-end gaming device, and that can be a notebook, it can be a desktop.
Yeah, but talking about products a little bit, since all the major OEMs use basically the same chips, right? The same CPUs, the same GPUs. I know that current Lenovo lineup, Legion lineup, has some like really innovative advantage. Can you tell us a little bit more
I think obviously everyone is using the high-end components from NVIDIA, from Intel, from AMD. It's not about that you put that together in a notebook, it's how you make them work together. So the setting the right TDP, so the thermal settings, the power envelope of the system is really important. So because that is unlocking all the gameplay from that high-end NVIDIA graphic card. So if you're not allocating enough power, you're kind of handicapping the CPU and the GPU to work together and to work at an extreme level. Then cooling is the other really important part. So all those GPUs and CPUs build up a lot of heat. They dissipate a lot of heat, and having the right cooling and airflow is really important, because you want to have that warm air fanning out. If your system is too hot, it cannot perform at its peak, because it needs to throttle down.
Exactly.
And then having the right settings is really important. So obviously there's more ways to make a system more powerful. You just add more power, but then you also usually make the system bigger and more expensive. What we try to get is that perfect balance between power, longevity, the nice looking system, and the settings. So this year the novelty is that we are adding an AI chip on top of the motherboard that optimizes settings. So it will identify when a game is loaded and which game is loaded, and then allocates the right GPU and CPU power based on the specifics of that game. So if you have a more CPU hungry game, more power is diverted to the CPU, and vice versa. If it's more GPU hungry, more power will go to the GPU. So as a player, you do not have to fiddle around with the settings. The system will do that for you, and you can focus on what you want to do, is play the game.
And it's a specific AI chip just to do that.
Yes, correct. Yes.
And from my point of view, you're currently the only manufacturer who does that?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so let's get into the esports a little bit, because we are the esports temple, really. It's the most important esport event here in Poland, and one of the most important
in the world.
But the esports is not really extremely demanding for performance, right? You can play esports games at really simple laptops. Why is it really important for the manufacturer like Lenovo to be on the esports scene?
I think there's a highly influential wow factor to be associating yourselves with esports. It's followed by millions, if not billions, of people across the globe.
So you can really feel that.
You can feel the energy in the arena. We were yesterday watching the semifinals, and there's a lot of fans really going wild for these guys playing a video game. Let's say, so I think if you look at the viewer lists and the people watching it from China, from Korea, from North America, but I think it's really important for us to be there to get the credibility as the gaming brand and the leading gaming brand that we want to position ourselves for. So having that right connection with part of your target audience will really help elevate your brand, being into the consideration of the people, watching the people here, seeing all the Legion devices, seeing all the interactions that we have in our booth, and that at some point will come back in brand value, brand recognition.
Okay, so last question. Probably most important, what games do you play? And do you play games?
I do play games. I actually play games since the first Philips devices that we were playing ping pong or pong on. So that's more than 30 years, I would say, or 40 years almost. 40 indeed, yeah, I'm getting old.
We all do.
So I like games with a story. So I'm not the one that just wants to shoot things. So if you look at games like God of War, for instance, it's kind of a hack and slash game.
Yeah, but it has great
But it has a deeper meaning and a deeper story about a father and a young boy bonding together. I really like that story. Or let's say The Last of Us, that is now a very good series, coming to PC soon. And also there is a great story about the development of a person that needs to escort a young female across a very dangerous territory. I really like seeing that development in the storytelling. And of course, sometimes you just want to drive around in GTA, shoot some stuff, and have some fun.
It's all about
it's a
fun,
mix.
really.
It's a mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.